Right, time now for Joy News Interactive, and if I sing, yes, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't steal
Standard
my
Smart.
line.
Yeah,
my line today.
Yeah. I've reformed.
I have one of those. What are we calling it? Those shorts. What are they calling it? What did Miss G say?
Oh, okay, the abbreviations.
Yes.
TTYL.
Yes.
WUUT.
Okay, so MD, F, N, M, S, K, 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 K. Go away, Gary. Go away, Gary.
No, but that's not it. Midda form straight kwa is MD midda.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like LMAO in tree.
Okay.
It's the most interactive 20 minutes on the news. Thanks for making time. Please join us on facebook.com/Joy News on TV, Twitter @Joy News on TV, and on WhatsApp. Our number is 05608 100,000. That's 05608 00 000. Now, it's World Health Day, and as I said earlier, the focus has been on diabetes. Now, in Ghana, 8 out of 10 Ghanaians are said to have the disease, according to the World Health Organization. The disease is also linked to 3.7 million deaths around the world. We've talked extensively about the disease today, so we want to switch it up a bit. What do you think the #1 cause of death in Ghana is?
Cholera.
Why cholera?
Because the environment is not being kept clean.
And I would say malaria because looking at recently the rains and stuff, and considering Ghana we have very poor drainage system, this it harbors the breeding of mosquitoes, especially in the rural areas and in the less privileged areas. Even in the affluent areas, it's killing people. Malaria has the highest rates of the causes of death in Africa. So I would say malaria.
I believe that is cholera now, because still the environment is not yet clean. Like when you are looking to this Kole and this circle and this thing, you find that there is still a very heavy dirt inside that thing, and that is what caused the cholera during this season a while when people are dying of cholera.
To my opinion, I would say it's a lifestyle diseases. Why? Because I wouldn't even consider malaria because it depends on how we treat our body. Because most Ghanaians or Africans, we don't like exercise. Myself, I'm a sales person, so I think like because I work from morning till evening, I don't do anything again. I will just eat and sleep. We don't take care of our diet. We eat anything. We don't balance our diet and stuff.
I think malaria is the most deadliest disease presently because people see malaria to be just normal headache and body pains. When they feel those kind of symptoms, instead of them going to seek medical attention, they just say, oh, it's normal headache and body pains. So they will just keep it normal, and that's when it takes them off the surface of earth.
Malaria mostly. Because if you visit the clinics and the health facilities, they are the most reported cases. Well, I've been there. Actually, my younger sister was admitted, so I saw it.
All right, so those were some answers from the streets. Time now for your Facebook comments. We posted the same question up. And what are people saying, Israel?
Right, Benoni says it's stress. I say this because stress is an active catalyst to diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cardiac arrest, stroke, among others. Mohammed says, I think malaria and high blood pressure must be critically looked into because both conditions are a worry to Ghanaians and the world at large. Ibrahim says it's because Ghanaians consider money and chilling as their topmost priority more than their health, chop fat meats and drink unnecessarily. Shiftman says, I think malaria kills more, and after that, Mahama hardship is second.
Oh, someone just had to put that in there.
Stubborn Gina says, STDs, the way those youth adore sex of late, most of their deaths is as a result of STDs. And Brad Dilting says, broken heart, tonga, alcohol, and bad NDC.
On WhatsApp, Destiny Comline Abidjan is saying that thinking too much is a major cause of death. This one says, Israel, don't mind the old man. It is you who has to be careful about Miss G. She is too hot and pretty. She's tempting myself. Okay, this one is from Dennis in Ahuao. But let's move on. This one says, stress kills more people. It's from Ernest. And this one says, malaria and hypertension. This one is from Martina. And this one says, it's obviously malaria and its disciples. And those are about it for your comments. Another one says, I think it's malaria. Okay, so what is it? All those who said malaria, right, you're correct, because according to the Center for Disease Control statistics on Ghana, and it has the top 10 causes of death, and Israel will go through them.
Okay, so let's quickly go through them. Malaria is the number 1. And then lower respiratory infections, that's 9%, just the same as malaria. That's about
the same as malaria.
Yeah. And then stroke, which so some people are talking about stress and all that. Yeah. So stroke is 8%, and then we have HIV, 8%. Wow, that's pretty high up there.
Yeah.
And then heart disease, 5%. Okay, so what's the difference between stroke and heart disease? Okay, and then cancer is 5%, and sepsis 4%, protein energy malnutrition 4%, preterm complications 3%, and diarrheal diseases 2%. So now you know the top 10 causes of death in Ghana.
All right, and more messages are coming through. This one says we should try to be clean a little so that we don't die. Our human resources will finish, but it's malaria. This one is from Lian Saki. Okay, so those are your comments now. Now, WASSCE leaks continue. Today, some students were privy to the geography paper before the exam. So is this still being termed as foreknowledge or leakage? Israel, what's going on? Is it foreknowledge? Is it leakage?
Well, foreknowledge.
Foreknowledge.
According to their definition.
Well, WAEC hasn't said anything about the term since yesterday, but what WAEC is saying, though, is that there will be prompt action against persons involved in this year's leakage. Now, out on the streets, we went to find out your definition of foreknowledge in the case of the examinations. Does the implication of a word change because of the time frame involved in it? So let's find out.
Foreknowledge is knowing the questions before an exam. Leakage, same thing. It leaked. Your questions, it leaked. Whether you got it by someone telling you, oh, in number 2 is this, number 3 is this, number 4 is this, or having the actual paper. Same thing to me.
Well, I would have thought where exams are concerned is the first time anybody should see that paper is when you sit down to officially write the exam. You open up your laptop or your whether it's in an envelope or whatever. I would have thought that's the first time one should see it. Now, all this an hour before and time before, people can call it what they want to call it. But for me, I think we're playing with words.
I think leakage is a deliberate attempt to make an information which is not supposed to be known publicly. And foreknowledge is having an information prior to the date or to a time it's supposed to be made public.
My definition of foreknowledge is coming in contact with an information prior to whatever you are going to do. You understand? So if I came in contact with that information before the exams, then it's a foreknowledge. But if, let's say, minutes or hours to the exams, I see something or I hear something, it becomes a leakage.
Foreknowledge is something, let's say, you have an idea about that thing or about that event before it happens. But leakage, to me, it's something that just happened. You get it? So it just happened. It's not something that you've planned of. You understand? It's just something that you plan of. Maybe, let's say, for example, you are going to write an exams. I might select some certain subjects or areas that I know it will come. That's a foreknowledge of it. But immediately I'm about to enter the examination hall and I heard that, hey, A, B, or C will come. That's when we call it what? Chubaba, or let's say Chu and Poor. So I think that's leakage.
To my personal understanding, foreknowledge and leakage are basically the same. Because you having the foreknowledge is getting an idea about what's about to happen before it comes into existence. And leakage is the same as foreknowledge.
Also known as True Baba. That one was an interesting one. What are people saying on Facebook? We just posted a question about how YX says they will take prompt action.
Yeah. Emmanuel says, I hope nobody expresses surprise in the leaked WASC papers. We shouldn't be hypocritical, knowing everybody wants the shortcut to success. Now, the orientation of corruption is in our educational institutions. People pay bribes to enter into nursing training and all that. Fatai says, another mass failure is in the air for those who memorize textbooks. Waik in Nigeria said there are widespread cheating by collusion. I don't know what collusion means. Mohammed says, why keep saying the same story every year, but it keeps repeating? I think critical investigation has been applied in order to attain a positive change. Prince says, same story all the time. Lack of mechanism and trusted leadership leads to white papers leakage. And Shiftman says, WIC is gradually becoming a very irritating institution. Why must students suffer for their negligence? Ghana deserves better.
Atakwashi on WhatsApp says, to me, there's no difference between foreknowledge and leakage. After all, there is a po. Okay? And this one says, Ghanaians should stop playing politics with this and stop this foreknowledge and leakage thing. What is happening is a disgrace to us, and this is Emma from Japan, or is it Emma from Japan? And those are your comments on WhatsApp.
Can I quickly take a couple of tweets? Alassane says, how can you have foreknowledge of an exam question if it is not leaked? Why should stop confusing themselves? And other tweets, Maxi says, hardship is our main sickness in Ghana, followed by incompetence and corruption. And Shiftman had posted, he says, I think that malaria and alcohol kills faster nowadays. Then hardship is number 2. And Kweku Annan says, Bagari asked me, why no news on Division 1 League? Hardly do we get the fixtures and things. And Gary responds, says, we do on the 2 p.m. show. The segment is short.
All right. We'll be right back after the break. Now, a memo that surfaced on Facebook from a recruitment agency has been trending, and according to the letter, a pregnant woman in that particular establishment should consider herself out of a job if she goes on maternity leave. That means no pay, and if she's still interested in her job, she would have to reapply for it. I don't know why anyone would bother to reapply for that kind of a job. But anyway, we put this up on Facebook, and Israel will go through some of the reactions.
All right, Abu Mujahid says, I see nothing wrong with that, as long as those ladies who intend to work in such a company will adequately be informed of such a condition. If you accept to such, then you cannot complain. And please let no one condemn these companies, since most of them, but in any case, Sigo says, the company says they've scrapped it.
Yes, okay. They actually said, the HR said they actually were not aware of such a policy.
All right. So then Benoni says, let's forget the prefix maternity and see if it's necessary to take pay while on leave. And Vigos Gideon says, Joyfem, please tell us yours. And I'm going to throw that question to you. What's Multimedia's maternity policy?
I actually haven't looked at it.
Okay,
but we have had colleagues who have been on maternity leave, and they do get 3 months off plus pay.
When they come back, they don't work full the full
they don't work the full. Yes, they do.
And for a number. So that's our policy, and everyone knows about it. So yeah, those are about all the comments we have.
And that's all the time we have. David is like wrap up. So thank you so much for sending in your comments. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Ifwa Harrison.